That's yes.
And that's Sasha.
We are the Cool Nerd Weed Show live on Adobe Radio. Sorry, my iTunes. Okay, there we go. My iTunes. I got a new phone, so I'm glad that played. We're live on Adobe Radio, and we are very happy to be here with you on another week of funsies. We had such a good week last week. It really was.
It was. We haven't done that much in forever.
No.
All in 1 week. We packed it all in 1 week.
We did. That's how it goes. You don't do a lot of stuff for a while, and then all of a sudden you get all busy and stuff. Follow us on Twitter at Cool Nerd Weed. Follow us on Instagram, Cool Nerd Weed Show, and everywhere else that you can find us, where social media is found. Social media kind of hasn't figured out what to do with weed yet. Nobody has, I guess.
It's a reoccurring theme.
Yeah, we did learn that other people feel. I mean, we know that other people feel shadow banned and stuff like that. Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes with all that. But for right now, Instagram, not the worst option for us, but there should be better platforms for us. But yeah, we had, and I guess I was pontificating about that because, when we go to these events, it's like, to connect with people, like to there's like a community that Jess and I are going to talk about today that, it's kind of hard to connect with people for me anyway, because I don't really, I'm not out and about in the world, and like it's nice to have social media sometimes for especially even like our show and stuff. Like it's nice to have like followers and people to be able to message us, to be able to talk to you. I think that's nice, and it bums me out that Instagram is making it harder or social media is making it harder for cannabis pages to exist.
Why don't they like us? Why don't the Zuckerbergs of the world embrace cannabis?
I don't know.
The Zuckerbergs.
What are we smoking?
Oh, we are smoking Wonderbrett's Peach Oz or Peach OZ.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was part of the great experiences that TS and I had. Yeah, we went to that Pop and Barkley event a couple weeks ago, the week before this. And that kind of kicked us off to going to stuff. And then there was a cluster of cannabis events that happened. And we saw the invite for the Peach OZ. Well, I saw the invite for the Peach OZ event and forwarded it to TS, and he was like, well, it's a high ticket item. And I was like, oh, I didn't even, you know what I mean? I didn't even look at what it was. I just saw Wonderbrett and got excited.
Yeah, for sure. I did too.
But it turns out sometimes you have to pay for stuff. That's good. And
you were not afraid.
Hell no, especially when it comes to Wonderbrett. Not for nothing. And we also went to the Stoney Slice event too. So I just wanted to mention that because we're going to talk about that too. But the Wonderbrett we went to first. The Stoney Slice, I think we bought tickets to first, actually. But so we were already looking forward to that. You took the day off and everything.
Took the day off of work.
Yeah, we committed to enjoying ourselves this past weekend. So that was even better. You know what I mean? We were and we even have Stoney. So we were just so stoked. So I got the invite. I was not for anything. We used to go to Lowell, and we'd go to Lowell once a month, and we'd fucking drop bank. We would always be smoking out of all the contraptions, obviously, and so we'd get a top shelf concentrate. We would get an eighth weed. I would get hella pre-rolls.
Oh, yeah, we'd always buy an El Blunto.
Right. So and then the food. So we would definitely be spending a good amount of money, and we would always say people would be oh, it's so expensive at the cafe, and we'd be yeah, but you are paying for an experience and for quality. The food was always really good. The weed was pretty good. The contraptions were pretty good at Lowell, I'm talking about. So that's how I justified it in my head. I was we've done this.
We've done this, yeah, for sure.
It's not I'm being I guess I just had, because I'm so, I had to talk to myself and be you know what, we never do these things.
I don't know if there was much debate in your head because about 5 seconds, maybe maybe like 2 minutes after I got off the phone,
I bought the tickets.
You were like, oh, after, right after. You're like,
not
okay.
before, and I would learn later that I was the first person to buy tickets to this event. Literally the first person in line.
Very first one in line.
That's how excited I was for this event. I just like knew in my heart of hearts that it was going to be like something to remember. I just had a feeling. I knew it was Wonderbrett, and I've seen the Cannabis Supper Club. That's who also was in collaboration. I mentioned that. The Cannabis Supper Club. You've seen them. They're like on TV, and they do stuff. They do stuff on the regular, but
I think they do various Cannabis Supper Club events all over the city regularly.
Yeah.
Probably, several a week, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they really go at it. But I guess Brett and Wonderbrett like also work with them too. So they decided to collaborate, and it was like an experience. It wasn't just to celebrate the weed, honestly. Like it was like there was music, there was like on the thing it said like live music, like drinks, fucking Wonderbrett. That's all I needed in my life, and art. There was live art, so I was like done. So that, and then so after, then afterwards, I was like, well, but I again, I always say when it comes to weed, like you should pay for something good. Like that's the whole thing, like it's not wasting your money.
No.
You're putting it to something that you're really going to enjoy, and it's going to bring you a lot of pleasure and relief. So, that's what I always say. I was just like having a moment, but I was like, whatever, man, I'm rich, bitch. So, just kidding.
You're like, we're going. Well, oh, damn.
You're like, okay. I was like, no, we're going. You get the weed. That's it. and
yeah, and like nerds, we bring our own supplies.
Well, just in case, because you never know. I didn't want to assume. I mean, obviously it's Wonderbrett, so they're going to come correct. But like, you never know. There are some events where there are no weed. We've gone to events where we've seen no weed. We don't want to be rude, so we always come prepared. And usually we need a little extra weed anyway, because it's just like how we are. And while we wait,
Well, yeah, because not only
was I the first person to buy a ticket, I was like,
we were the first people through the door.
Okay, but the person who told me that I was the first person to buy tickets was the best person who could have possibly told me that. It was like Brett him fucking self.
Wonderbrett
who we just like
himself.
stumbled into. It was just like casually standing there like a fucking genius person. And like, we're like, hey, we're social PS. And he's like, I'm Brett. And we were like
got all excited.
Because you wanted to say like the Brett. Like obviously it'd be like pretty funny if his name was Brett. And he wasn't Brett. He just like, I would clarify that. So I was like, yeah, it's the Brett. I got all like fucking like geeked out for sure. And I was like, we love you. And we love you so many times. It's so corny.
We love you. We love you. We were totally like, we're not worthy.
For realsies, we're
not worthy.
We were absolutely Wayne's Worlding. Like, every part of that we were just like, oh my god. So we did, we like ran around each other. I said I love you 6 times, and then he was like, you're the first person to buy tickets. And I was like, of course I was like, yeah, of course I was, because like this really did excite me. And we were sitting next to a couple who had actually been to a couple of these events too. So I was like, oh, like we should go to these things more.
We should go more.
That was pretty fantastic.
Then Mr. Brett, Mr. Wonderbrett handed us our gift bags.
Yes. Oh, I destroyed mine, but I actually kind of have it.
Oh, you got the little box.
I do. I forgot I did, but yeah. Then they gave us a little box. We're showing this on the Zoom, and subscribe to our YouTube or whatever that is. And yeah, they gave us a little box. They gave us an 1/8 of Peach OZ, which is so good. It's so good. So fucking good. So an 1/8 of Peach OZ. Oh my god, such cute like little pins. I guess Hyper Wolf. I'm not quite sure what they like. I guess they
that was the device that was heating and monitoring the temperature of our dabs.
That shit was cool.
Yeah.
We nerded out over that as well. That was really cool. Check out Hyper Wolf. That shit blew our minds. It was funny. The guy was like talking about dab stuff. So we were like we were very polite. He's like, it's like dabbing, it's like vapor, but it's not vapor.
But
and we
it's
were
not
like,
vapor,
trust us,
like,
we get it.
Yeah.
We love it. But it was actually an experience like no other because I had never smoked from a device like that, and those rigs were beautiful. And
the dab
if it wasn't
were...
the 8 literal joints that we smoked before that, and we'll talk about the pairings, then it was those things that got us like fucking really high. Like usually we go out after an event and like break it down. We were just like, good night. We were so happy. Like, so yeah. So, okay. So I do want to get to Stoney. So, I want to go over like what they gave us too, because we do the rating thing. No, and I don't think we'll do like a little rating afterwards, but we rated our events for a long time, the Cool Nerds, because we're assholes and I don't know why I listen to the show, but we rated events because we went to a lot. We were so impressed by the amount of weed at this event.
Well,
yeah, is that like an understatement? Like I felt like I couldn't believe that the size of the joints that they were giving. They gave us a joint with each course. There were 5 courses.
Before we even got to dinner, there was the dab bar. We smoked.
There was a vendor there that was making hash joints with the Axiom hash, with the hash as paper. We smoked
the hash
them.
wraps.
Yes, those were hash wrap. There was no paper.
I've never had anything like that.
It was truly an innovation.
And we smoked a lot of hash before dinner, and had several dabs.
And we had smoked a couple joints of our own.
The finest of the Beyond Blueberry.
Oh, so good. Oh yeah. Blueberry. Was there like garlic cookies or something like that? Or no, did I make that up? Or was that was Papa Martin?
No, that was Papa and Barkley.
What was the other one that we did?
It
was banana.
Pineapple.
Wasn't there?
Well, that was in the.
No, that was the
flower.
Weed. Fuck.
It was
a cup overflow.
Pineapple.
OG, yeah, that's what I
and
dabbed
I think
first.
the pink Picasso.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was lovely. Sorry, I got that completely wrong. That's why I asked before the show if you had it up, because I don't remember any of it. But yeah, no, that was really, really nice. We smoked that pineapple was amazing, and the blueberry was amazing. And we did that before, and then we sat down, and they gave us like all of the food. Okay, so yeah, say what they. So also to note, we do something similar as Cannabis Supper Club. TS and I do plant-based, which is pairing weed with plant-based food. So we can dig it. Like we did a Wonderbrett episode as well. So like this was right up our alley. This was like tailored for us.
Totally.
I feel like they did the whole thing.
The whole thing was just for us. So the Peach Oz experience starts out with a amuse bouche.
Yes.
Of a cheese tart with some peach marmalade. And okay, this was really interesting. They came around with they had champagne glasses were on the table.
Yeah, they did.
And there was some sort of I don't know. I reminded me of a bee smoker, but it was some sort of cannabis device that.
I've seen it. It pours. It makes it kind of like. I've done this like when I was in my 20s. Like you take a cup out of the freezer, and then you you blow the smoke into it from like a joint or whatever, and hold it, and then you give it, and just like drink it. So that's what they did. They but it was cool. It was like. Not vapor. I don't know. It was smoke.
It was. I don't know what was in it was smoke out of like the bee smoker.
Yeah. And then they poured it into champagne.
It into the champagne glasses and
we drank it.
And
that was cool.
Adjusted that. That was very cool. Got a nice light hit to start start the meal off.
And then they came out and they told us some stories, and it was quite lovely. All people who seemingly have been in the game for a long time, and I think that was even lovelier. It was really cool to see some G's. Like Brett is clearly a G, and he runs with G's, and his family was there.
Oh yeah, Mom
was there, fucking lighting up like a boss. Like she downed the champagne thing. I saw it. Always had a joint in her hand. Just so hilarious. Like chatting up the people next to her. Like Brett's mom. It's fucking cool. And Brett is fucking cool. And I really appreciate this because it was just not only did it celebrate the art of weed, it celebrated we can do this with other stuff, you know, like wine is what we always compare it to, the pairings and stuff like that. But it was even better. Like with the amuse bouche, did they give us the first joint yet? They did.
That was the
we like start smoking and we were like, ooh.
that was
Can we smoke yet?
that was the first sort of smoke.
Yes.
Was out of the champagne glass, and then they came around and the next course
right
was the scallop kudo.
Yes.
And that was paired with the peach Oz. And they gave us like a good sized joint.
Yeah,
like that.
It's pretty big.
It was pretty big. And they came through and they're like, you know, take a dry hit, puff on this.
That's what we really like too, is like they weren't like they were I mean, they're obviously, they know their shit. I mean, coming from like two fucking idiots who have a podcast, but like they really knew their shit.
Absolutely.
And TS and I we don't get that a lot.
We appreciate that.
Like, and we don't see that a lot rather. And like, we really do appreciate like people who come in and say you should dry hit a joint, because
that tells a story. That tells the story.
That's old school smoke. You know what I mean? That's the first.
Absolutely.
That's the old school way to test anything, and you know. Exactly, it tells a story.
Roll it up, take a dry hit.
And then the chef would come out and be like, this is what I made and this is why I made it. And it would like go with the strain. Mostly it was celebrating the peach OZ, which is something to be celebrated. This is really good.
We're celebrating it right now.
We are. Yeah, and it's funny. These tested like 19%. And we smoked before the show. I don't even really want to get into it, but we smoked this 420 Kingdom, and I'm bummed because I really like this brand and I really like this the way they're going. But we got a very high testing weed that I was like stoked on. That I don't know, not doing it. But this at 19% is like,
it's way different.
Yeah, like it's and the joints they rolled that night were clearly like fresh.
They were fresh.
You could just taste
full
the peach,
flower.
Taste the sweetness of the peach. Taste a little bit like candies. So then the scallops, and then what?
Squash. It was like a vegetable.
I couldn't remember. Like my therapist was asking me what we ate, and I was like, it was so good. I don't remember.
Agnolotti?
Oh, the agnolotti. Oh my god, that was so
Squash
good.
Agnolotti. That was delicious, and that was paired with the orange banana.
That was so bomb.
Which the orange sunset was one of our favorite terps.
We smoked that. That was like we smoked that. That got us through 2019. It was brought to you by Orange Banana, grew by Wonderbrett, 2K19, and the Nerds. I mean, you did not catch us not smoking that. Every time there's a picture of us, we tag Wonderbrett because we were smoking. Like it was the year of that. So that was very like yummy and familiar to us. And that was a good dish. I really like that. So yeah, we're on like our second like pretty big joint, and TS and I finished them.
Yes, we finished them.
So yeah, we were one of the only people who finished.
Each meal you were provided with a single serve, good sized joint. Each of us, yes.
So it was
we didn't have to
joints.
share with anybody.
Yeah, which I thought was very generous. So then the third
act was the fourth act is the smoked duck breast.
Oh yeah,
with chili peach glaze.
Worried about this because I usually don't eat meat, but I had to try it. It was just so good. And that was with the peach OZ too.
That was paired with peach OZ. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was chili peach glaze, some spiced carrots, caramelized stone fruit, crispy candied ginger, and scallions.
It was so good. Yeah, that was so good.
That one actually, the sauce was. We have a picture. It was dripped onto the plate.
Yeah.
To look like a Wonderbrett painting.
That was awesome. And that was cool too. Is like, and Stoney Slice too is also like very about the vibe. Like that was really important. We realized when we were at the Pop and Barkley event, like vibe is so important at a cannabis event because you're getting stoned, you know what I mean? And like, you want to be comfortable and you want to enjoy yourself. And like the vibe at Wonderbrett and Stoney, Wonderbrett centered around on like art and music and shit. And so did Stoney actually. They had like a collab DJ. And like Brett was like painting live and shit. And like we each got like a painting that was like made that night. Which was really, really cool. It's like the Peach OZ box. And that's something that's like very centric to Wonderbrett is like their boxes and stuff, like their Black Orchid box is like super, super cool. And they had this like really cool thing that we didn't get a picture, or I didn't get a picture of the Wonderbrett display. Like was like it's like a
all
W with like the
boxes.
boxes, and that was like super, like very like, I don't know. It just made you feel like happy and good, and the space was happy and good. And at Stoney too, it was like, it was just like a very welcoming and like we're here to like celebrate like being able to do this, and also like make it classy, you know? Like I feel like it was very elevated.
It was.
Felt very sophisticated getting a painting. And then what after the duck?
Ooh, the dessert course was the chocolate tart with the passion fruit.
I was so full by then. I was like, oh my God. I still ate it, but
yeah, I ate like almost all of it.
I ate a lot of it. It was really good. It was really,
And
really good.
that was paired with a pink Picasso.
Yeah, and I was like, it was like that like pink Picasso joint was different than any pink Picasso. Well, we always love. I'm a sucker for it, but that made me love it even more because it was like a good batch.
It was a good batch,
of
and
pink Picasso.
Pink Picasso has its roots in the gelato.
I love it.
Family, so it paired perfectly with this dessert.
It was very good. And when the guy came around, who was just a wonderful host, to like give us more wine and like to see if we needed a to-go container for our joints, he was like, I've been giving everybody containers, but your dopey asses don't need any. Not in those words, but he did say we were the only ones that didn't need it to go.
Who didn't need it to go?
I was like, no, I want to smoke every last drop. Are you nuts? Like, I want to savor this. And then we did, and it was really good. It was really good. It was like that nice live performance, and the art was really rad, and then, you know, it felt, you know, we were all nice and toasty, and everybody felt like they were in their own kind of like lane, you know what I mean? Like there was socialization, which was nice, but it wasn't overwhelming, which I always get very overwhelmed when I have to socialize with people. That's why I like when the vibe is good, because then I don't feel overwhelmed, and then I can.
It was chill.
Just like
it was
chat
chill vibes
and be happy and like not feel like I'm not, you know, performing or something. Like it was just very chill. And Stoney was too. We went to Stoney Slice this weekend. He did his first event, Cash from Stoney Slice and Company, and it was fucking awesome. It was great. Like it was so fun. It was like, so Stoney Slice we've had on, friend of Idovi Radio.
Oh yeah, he was on our 420 special.
He was on our 420 special with the legendary Fish-O-Rama, and it was awesome. And he made us pizza, and like we wondered too. We were like, is he just gonna be like making them one by one, like in his cool ass oven?
Yeah, he said he makes them one at a time.
And we were like,
and,
and he was
sure,
like, he fucking like was literally making them with like a little team of people that were just like hustling so hard and like getting orders and like rotating on who was making the pizzas and who was like, and he made sure everything got in and got out, took orders. Nobody really minded, you know what I mean? Like nobody minded waiting. Like it was a vibe, you know.
Yeah, we were chilling.
It was an open bar for the most part. They had mixed drinks too, and there was a DJ and like lots of cool shit to just like chill.
There was tables outside.
Yeah, it was beautiful out.
Beautiful night.
Exactly,
yeah.
It was a perfect like downtown area too. Actually, like I was kind of stoked on where it was. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes when you go downtown, it's like always things that are converted into spaces to hang out in for weed events, which is totally cool.
Yeah.
But like it's like when you can go out like into the public street and feel like
some of them it's like you're going into a post-apocalyptic land, and then
totally, and we've been to those.
They open the doors and you're like, oh my god, this is paradise.
I'm walking into somebody's
and
situation here.
But then when you walk out.
Right. And it's like, because it is. It's like sometimes it's factories. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like it's like places that are converted. We were talking about that when we were there. But this place was quite lovely and just like really flowed well. Even when it got crowded, it didn't feel like overwhelming. You know, like I said before, like it was a vibe. It just felt good. We found our little nerd corner where we always kind of post up and
watch the whole room.
We can watch the vibe. We can watch the whole situation, nerd out over pizza ovens, and you know. And we got the 60 milligrams. I got the Venice Beach, which was really yummy, and you got the pepperonis.
I just went pepperonis.
I had a bite and was like, oh my god, that's so good. I had all 60 milligrams. I ate that pizza so fast. I was pretty hungry by the time. I was starving. I was so hungry that
I
was so hungry that like by the time I ate, I wasn't hungry anymore. It was just like lady stuff, but you I was like, you're gonna be high.
I ate that pizza so fast. I'm like, I need to chill. I need to slow down and savor this. So, but
I did
it
too.
finally digested. It started digesting. We were outside. I was like,
You're like starting.
I'm gonna be really
I think
high.
I had like 2 slices of mine, and I feel like it did. I hadn't eaten anything, so I feel like I metabolized it really quickly, or I digested it really quickly. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah. It was really, really good.
The pizza is just
We're both like having a lot of trouble.
delicious.
The pizza, oh my God. If we didn't mention it, like, just know that our food experiences have been like this pizza. It's just so like my mouth is watering thinking about it. The crust. I mean, and listen, we're 2 New York assholes who love our pizza.
Hey, I know a thing or two about pizza.
I'm walking here. But so I'm picky. The sauce is really, really good. Like it's tasty, man. Like he freaking knows what the fuck he's doing. And it's a really beautiful thing to watch it. Like I was really genuinely happy for him. Cash is fucking doing the damn thing.
Putting
like
on a show behind that.
Oh my God. Just like
of
with
that pizza
ease.
oven.
Like, and just the whole thing was really well put together and just a ball. Like everybody was really chilling, just happy to be there, and so were we. We were really stoked. So congratulations to Cash and to Wonderbrett for your new launch and your parties, because these are successful things. The nerds approve. You haven't heard the last of us talking about it because we're gonna talk about it later too. Because it was just like my therapist was like, you seem like a new person. Like when because we had 2 successful socializations, and you're out working in the world. Like I'm still kind of like post-pandemic in agoraphobic mode. So when I go out and I like have really nice time, and then like the night's over and nothing bad happened, you know what I mean? Like we just came home and I stayed up and I think I watched like an episode of TV with my husband, and I think you fell asleep.
I was out cold.
You said you slept like a baby, and like it felt nice, you know what I mean, to wake up and be like, oh, that was like a successful. And like after Stoney too, like we just went home, like had like nice. You had the munchies again. I knew I would too. I did too, and it was like just like a really nice time. I saw somebody I knew at Stoney too. Like it was crazy. Like a whole couple years goes by, I don't see like literally anybody, and then I go to like 2 events, and I'm like, I see people, and it's like, wow.
It was really 2 years. It's been 2 years since we've been to any events, and it feels good to get back out there.
Sure does.
Mix it up with the people, vibing out.
With the people. I'm gonna take a break. It's good hang out with people. No, it does. We are the people. And it's like it was very nice. So thank you, Wonderbrett, for a wonderful time. Thank you, Stoney, for just fucking killing it and like making each pizza yourself. Like, come on, bro. Like stop being so fucking amazing, please. And getting this shit done, like doing it in the first place. Like, man, you're like just killing it. Like killing it with fire. If you're out here, you should check out Stoney Slice. I think it's at Stoney Slice _ on Instagram.
Yeah, you can just it's at
we
Stoney
tagged them in a
Slice.
bunch
We
of shit
tagged them.
And Wonderbrett you can also find very easily. If you're in LA, you gotta try Stoney Slice. You gotta try Wonderbrett. Those are our recommendations. They're bougie as fuck though. Like if somebody comes in from like, you know what I mean, from like New Jersey, and they're just like, give me to a dispensary, and I'm like, oh, it's Wonderbrett, and then. And while you're at it, I got beautiful. Well, Stoney Slice is like accessible, but it's very, it's fancy. I mean, I felt fancy. I felt fancy. I felt like elevated. Like I said, like that's what Wonderbrett was. These are elevated things. So no, you're not getting the mids when you ask the nerds where to go.
Hell no.
Fuck no. These are high level recommendations.
Life is too short to smoke mids.
It's so true. That is what the Culinary Weed Show. We will die by that.
To smoke mids and eat frozen pizza.
It's accessible.
Life is too short.
It's accessible. We're not being bougie. I was just kidding, but it is a little bougie. But it's not. But in a good way. It's a nerdy way, right? I don't sound like a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't convinced. That was not good support.
Yeah, you don't sound like a jerk at all.
Yeah.
Couple of bougie nerds.
That's us. And we're going to take a break and we'll be back. And then we're just going to talk about like the country. I don't know. It's a weird world out there. We're just happy we got to go to some cool events out here. That's what we wanted to get out. And we'll be right back.
Gummies, 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 I got gummies. Do you want some gummies? It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show.
That's a good one. It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show. That's TS.
And that's Sasha.
And we are back. Man, did I sound like a jerk off before? I wasn't being a jerk off. I meant like we recommend. Okay, so before we were talking about follow us on Twitter at Cool Nerd Weed and Cool Nerd Weed Show if you want to tell me I sound like a jerk off. But we were talking about like Stoney Slice and Wonderbrett, and those were the two awesome events that we went to. And I was saying like if you're coming from New Jersey, and I'm like go to Wonderbrett. I meant mostly because New Jersey doesn't have stuff like that. So like you want something like more, you know, like I don't know. I don't know what I meant by that. And
you know what?
I retract
you know what
my
you want to
statement.
say? That this is really something special.
Yes.
Wonderbrett is really something special.
I just feel like I became a jerk. And Wonderbrett and Stoney Slice are really something special.
Special. So if you're coming in from anywhere,
you should check them
you
out.
should check them out.
You really should. But they're nice. That's what I was trying to say. Is that they're nice. It's like treating yourself, and you should treat yourself.
You should.
When
a
it
little
comes
self-care.
to weed. That's what we're saying. That's what I'm saying.
You deserve it.
These opinions reflect the show, so you better you better stand by me. I wasn't dissing on anyone. I was only trying to say how amazing these events were, and they did feel like another level of good times.
It was a great time. It was therapeutic as well.
Yeah. I love you, New Jersey. We're not even going to rag on you today. You're fine. You're doing your best when it comes to legalization. You're getting there slowly but surely, and you'll be great. But not everybody is doing so great. Who are we going to talk about first? California? Yeah, I think we're going to talk about California first.
Oh, the illicit market.
Yeah, so like we talk about this from time to time, but as much as California and legal weed is, you know, like we're saying, like since we work in the industry in the way that we do, we tend to prefer things that are legal. And that may sound like duh to you, but the California weed business is mostly illegal.
But yeah, it's unfortunately
it sounds crazy.
It does.
It really does when you say it out loud.
When you throw the estimated illicit market is approaching $8 billion annually. $8 billion.
That's insane. That's really, really, really crazy.
That's twice the legal market. So we combine those numbers. For a $12 billion plus a year industry in California.
Mm-hmm. For that to be mostly illicit sales, that's a bummer. I mean, okay. We know that what is in effect right now in terms of, because like I just have to say this first so that we don't seem like, so I don't come like a jerk off later. We didn't vote for Prop 64. I didn't.
No.
The way it is written fucking sucks. The way they came in and did it, we knew it would fucking suck. Expunging, we knew it would suck. And it is. That's another thing that this isn't even covering yet. But California's weak sauce on the expunging. So we knew this. A lot of people in the industry didn't vote for this, especially people who are working in the illicit business. TS and I just so happen to have worked hard, TS especially, on being on... I say clean, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like being on the legal side of history.
Above the board.
Why not? Why not have clean money so that you can travel and such? You know what I mean? Like it's easier to stay out than to go in. So we promote that on this show. That is how we like to live, right? I am by no means talking down on people who are not able to do that. We were able to stay in transition, stay afloat, find what we can find, and stay in the legal part of weed. Some people needed to not do that. Some people needed to survive. Some people found opportunity. I mean, there was a lot of new money that went into the illicit market. And there's a lot of fucking very old money in the illicit market in cannabis. So old that like the roots, you can't even untangle them with some shittily put together proposition that's going to blanket, adult use in California. It's very difficult to open up shops to get a license. That was one of the main things. It's very expensive. Taxes are fucking insane. So that leads to like no dispensaries. I didn't realize it was this low.
This is insane.
823
legal shops.
That's it.
California is the lowest and lags far behind in cannabis shops per capita.
Bro, Alaska has more than us. More per capita than us. Alaska's beating us by Alaska's beating everybody.
So 823 brick and mortar cannabis shops, but they're saying there's close to 3,000 retailer and delivery services operating without permits.
Right. So, which, we know so many people who again, like the problem is yeah, when you're somewhere and there's not a dispensary, but there's somebody who's going to deliver it to you from like a trap, like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like
you're going to use it. Yeah.
Out of I know I have principles, but like, I'm sorry. Like it's California and you have access to it. For you not to be providing it is very strange it's a very strange concept, but they're doing more and more raids and stuff, which I don't know if they think that's going to work, but the problem isn't that these things exist already, because the bottom line is that like this article we're reading is basically just like, it's too late, man. Like the gap is really, really, really big. So seizing all these things, you know what I mean? Going after illegal houses and grows, like I guess like Northern California is just like riddled with like just grow houses that
I think
there was an article on Beard Bros, I think, like that was just like, what do they call them, glowworms or something?
It's gone but beyond. It's like full blown greenhouses, illegal greenhouses.
So like you'll see them just like popping up. Yeah, it's creepy. But yeah, they're just like not even giving a fuck. They're just like putting on full on greenhouses, and it's like I don't like there really isn't anything to do, like I would hope that maybe there's like reform in something that has to do with the legal market. Maybe it's not so difficult to open places, Well,
these large grows that have been getting busted either in Northern California or a lot in the desert communities, they're left unchecked, and they use banned pesticides and whatever other chemical fertilizers that they use, and they're basically poisoning the environment.
Sure, I mean they're not regulated.
They're not regulated.
There was the one thing that like we were like kind of about when it came to legal weed is like, I feel a little bit better knowing, like as a nerd, like knowing what I'm putting in my body, and it's a big California thing too. Like you want to know what you're putting in your body, and when especially something that's grown in en masse, like. No weed is grown boutique anymore. Everything's very big. So they're going to try and pump that shit up. They're going to try and do what mass-produced shit. What happens to mass-produced? Weed is not immune to that.
You add some little steroids, get a little more bulk at the end.
Like you fucking breed your chickens. You know what I mean? It's like fucking Food Inc., but with weed. And it's like, it's not cute. It doesn't yield good results. And the weed often tastes weird. And who knows what's in it. But it's available. And it makes more money. And it is more available to the consumer. Then, you know what I mean? The consumer doesn't have to go in and pay 35% in taxes. And then the people who are in the business make out pretty good too, because they don't have to deal with all the regulation bullshit. But it's just, I don't know. And also California, a lot of places don't want weed.
This was sort of surprising to me, shocking, but I don't know, maybe not so shocking that
what do you think about it, yeah?
When they say 60% voted for Prop 64, but where are we all located? Were we all located in LA and San Francisco and Santa Cruz?
Yeah. Like what?
Because there's a lot of places that have opted out of even allowing shops. I mean, this happened before. They didn't want the medical cannabis around, and certain neighborhoods were more accepting of it and others were not. Now those neighborhoods are becoming a lot more accepting. When you find a shop in Culver City, you're like, damn, they never used to let you want to do anything in Culver City.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I guess like certain places are just like, it's stupid of us not to do this.
But still, there's still a huge gap between.
I honestly don't know the answer, and I don't know if it's going to change. Like, I feel good about where like we are personally in our journeys, but I can't judge anybody else in theirs. And we've seen firsthand how hard it's been for people who have eventually made the legal jump. But like it's not been easy for just about everybody in the industry out here. It got really yucky. So legal weed isn't so pretty. So illegal weed looks very pretty to people when it's there. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Please don't do illegal things. If you can, please always buy legal. If you have to stock up in LA. If you're going to Malibu, or the beach areas, because they usually don't have dispensaries. Like, find out where your local dispensary is, and if you do illegal things in a large scale, no, you don't.
Well, did you know that the fine is so low? It's really low, and I guess that was the point of
It'd pop up again somewhere else.
Of everything was to decriminalize and legalize. So
that's a good point.
The current penalty is a misdemeanor and a $500 fine.
I don't know where I fall on that, because you're right. We do want it to be legal. We want it to be legal, but we also want it to be good for us and not to cause more problems than
pollute the environment.
Yeah, like that's the whole point of weed is to be good. Okay, we have a few minutes, and I want to talk about New York really quick.
Oh yeah,
we might save Texas.
Okay,
I think
New York.
Yeah, Texas did a thing with Delta 8, and we're worried about people who we love in Texas. If you're okay, we hope you're okay, but they're banning Delta 8, which is fucking weird and stupid. So we should spend more time on that. But just telling you, so you know. But in New York this weekend, and this is so lame, like the Post narked on these guys. The NYPD is like now like sniffing around. There's like pictures of people in Washington Square Park. The Post article is actually really funny. Manhattan's troubled Washington Square Park has reached a new low. Oh, Washington. New York Post.
Brazen drug dealers.
New York Post never fails. It'd be so stupid.
The New York Post, the worst damn paper on the East Coast.
Yeah, it is. Well, they are very unhappy about this farmer's market of weed. I mean, your boys just like posted up with
is there like some sort of pop-up flea market sort of situation that happens there on the weekends?
I don't know why this doesn't happen
market?
when I'm not there. Like man, I hope it's there when I get there in a couple months, because I will participate in that. Washington Square Park is not, it's like, it's not uncommon to find somebody selling weed in Washington Square Park, but this is like, it is. I mean, the New York Post is right. It's pretty brazen. They're like out on, it's like a table like you'd set up at a demo event,
Yeah, it looks like an old secret sesh.
It does look like a secret sesh. Oh, but in Washington Square Park, how lovely. I mean, just beautiful, I guess. I'd like to try it. They have some neat strains. It does, that's a risk.
Totally.
Put yourself out there like that. Wouldn't necessarily recommend. It's, weed is legal and you can, smoke weed in New York. And I'm not sure like the selling thing. I don't know if that's like.
Well, they're saying that they're just a lot of these what entrepreneurs, we'll call them, are just going to keep doing it until somebody says stop. And
good for them.
Somebody's got to do it. Get out there and do it. This actually, it looks like the early, like the Doja Cup back in the day.
Yeah, honestly,
where it was really like, it was all medical. And I was like, I can't believe this is going on indoors.
I wonder, like, it says the NYPD is like cracking down, but like, it also developed recent pledge. Quality of life concerns. So yeah, like, I mean, just like New Yorkers are going to have some shit to say about this, For sure. So I would get it while you can. I don't know on what grounds the NYPD has to stop it. Maybe like permit to like, but Washington Square Park is like pretty, you can do that. We used to go there for the radio station because like you just go there. Like it's like a pretty public arena over there.
Yeah,
it's highly policed, but like it's like
for sure.
You can kind of just go there and smoke weed. Like that's where you go. I mean, it's right by NYU. It's like, it's in every movie that anybody's smoking weed. That's where they're smoking weed. So I don't know. I don't know how it could be shut down, but apparently they might shut it down. But I would like to see that. I wish it wouldn't be shut down. It probably is. But
you're not, if you're not hurting anybody and there's no other way, and it's been decriminalized, legalized in New York, then this is what's going to happen. All these guys seem to think they're going to get permits sooner or later.
Well, that's great for them. I love it.
I love it. Get out there.
I guess like Washington Square Park like has been like really, really popping during like the underground boxing matches. What?
Well, I mean, it's pretty lawless.
No, I mean, there was a point that Washington Square Park was the lamest. Like, there was a point where it just, like, there was, like, a little period of time where nothing happened. Like, the police were just on that shit. And then it went back to its old... You can't keep it policed forever.
No. Well, one of the things that bothers me about this market in New York is that things are labeled with the California medical logos and recreational logos and it's all the packaging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just so you know, you can get packaging for your weed from Amazon and make it look like you got it in California. So that's why.
Just beware.
That's why legal weed and illegal weed matters, because if you go to a dispensary with your body and you get legal weed, then you know it's legal. If you're getting it from a dealer, it's probably some mids put in a fucking Amazon bag.
I think I see. Oh, there's the bag. It's right there. This guy's got all the cookies bags.
Right,
in the
you
second
can
photo,
buy those from
he's got
eBay.
Like lion's mane and can't read the other ones, but they're clearly have seen those bags before.
Yeah, nobody's getting wholesale cookies in New York. Do you hear me? Nobody's getting real cookies right now from California in New York. I don't know if I can make that clearer.
They're saying they're getting truffle pie and gorilla cake.
They are not.
I don't believe it for a second.
That's something else put in a bag that they bought from a retailer, probably from here. Maybe that did come from here, but the weed didn't. Maybe it did, but it's not that. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk more about the fun that we had. We'll be right back.
The Final Huff and Puff with TS and Sasha.
It was like ASMR. It's the Final Huff and Puff on the Cool Nerd Weed Show. Well, okay, we're not huffing and puffing today. I mean, we are, but in a good way. I don't know what I'm saying. I really wanted to say clear words today because I wanted to express my gratitude for the events that we went to, and I don't think I did. So just know in my heart what I mean to communicate is that we had a really good time, and we're really lucky to be able to go to these events and to have cool people around us that do these things and share it with us and want to share it with us. And it's kind of part of the community that weed is, there's believing in weed. It kind of unifies everybody, and also there's a certain type of person, you're a certain breed of cool human when you believe in weed, especially out in California. I think
it brings us all together. It's one thing that we all have in common,
especially during these dividing times. But seriously, it's true. We spent a whole full year just kind of yelling at each other and being alone, and the weed community did not really suffer because the weed community became essential. So everybody banded together and just was fuck it, you know what I mean? We're gonna keep doing what we do. This is this is our moment, you know what I mean? This is what we've been waiting for, is for the world to give us an opportunity to show us who the fuck we are. So that these events can happen is very, it just shows you the spirit of cannabis and stuff like that.
We learned that cannabis is essential function of living. And now that we've come maybe to the sort of the end of this, or a safer time, close to the end.
Yeah, it's safer access.
Safer times and safer access. We've finally been able to rejoin the cannabis community face to face.
And that's been nice too, because, we didn't quite know what that was going to, man, that tastes good. That's the peach OZ too.
More peach
Another
OZ.
one of our gift joints. But like, we didn't know what the socialization scene was going to be like, because cannabis, again, like it's a very like, it's social. You're coughing, you're sharing weed. It's pretty much how I gave my whole family COVID. Like, so like being safe is number one priority, number one. And we were at events that like made us feel safe, like Pop and Barkley changed their fucking Puffco tips every 2 seconds. But Wonderbrett provided us with 2 joints so that nobody had to share.
Everybody had their own joint. Yeah, the cleaning procedure at Pop and Barkley was impressive.
Yeah.
They had a lot of Puffcos, and they were being cleaned diligently.
So it's just nice to like feel safe out too, because like I was saying before, like I am like really I don't socialize a lot anymore, and it's like good to know that like when I'm gonna do that, I'll be safe and I don't have to worry for like days and days and days when I get home that I'm not gonna feel good. It's just like quality stuff. Like the Stoney Slice event was just like, quality food, quality ingredients with weed in it, and nobody at either event or at any event was like too fucked up. You know what I mean? It was that.
No.
It was like the community. You know what I mean? It was people who know their limits, people who don't just want the most free thing, I guess. Is that fair to say? Is that a dick thing to say?
No,
it's not spin the wheel for a prize, this is like quality shit, and we got more than what we, worth it. You know what I mean? Like what we got is literally priceless, and also like literally like beyond what we paid for. So like,
absolutely.
I like, again, we always say like, if you want like good weed, like nowadays it sucks with the taxes, but nowadays I say, like you spend that money, like even back in the day, your top shelf weed, like your top shelf weed, like, you should be paying money for.
It's always better to have less of something good than more of something terrible.
So true to you. And we do dig a good experience, and like, there's a difference between going like we've been to a few of these, events, and we've been shown a good time, like, at different places, and this was just like a very like warm couple of experiences for us, and made us feel like, oh shit, like the cannabis community never went anywhere, but face to face, like it just goes to show you that, like, I guess it just goes to show you that it didn't go anywhere. Like we could just always fall back to where we always were, because like the weed community is so bomb that it's just like catching up with an old friend, being out there, seeing people that that you don't know, telling people what you do. Like it's just like riding a bike, and we're glad to be back. So thank you to all of the events that we went to, Stoney Slice and Wonderbrett, last week Pop and Barkley. Find them all on our Instagrams. And, thanks for existing and hanging out. And thank you. Follow us on Twitter at Cool Nerd Weed, and follow us on Instagram at Cool Nerd Weed Show, and all the other places. Find us on YouTube and everything. We're everywhere because we love you, and
don't panic.
It's organic.
Yeah, we want to thank you so much for being a beautiful audience. Thank you very much. We'll be back real soon. Y'all take care, and remember, unity forever, please.